Welcome back, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. My name is Jason. I'll be your host on this CFL talk show, Hussey's Huddle. In this video, we're going to look at some players in the CFL that played in the league in 2021 that are already attracting NFL interest this offseason. But really quickly before we get started, if you want to support the channel, the best way to do it is by hitting the like button and subscribing to Hussey's Huddle for more CFL content just like this. I greatly appreciate it. And with that said, let's get on with the video. So this list is in no particular order. These are mostly things that I gathered off of 3downnation.com, a site that does have its flaws with some of the articles that they run, but generally speaking, it's very good information that they do put out, and it's one of the best CFL publications, if not the best CFL publication out there. So again, in no particular order, we'll start with defensive end Jamal Davis and the Montreal Alouettes, a rookie in 2021, had a handful of sacks, got in the very heavy Montreal Alouettes pass rush rotation and did a pretty good job. I mean, I haven't really got into looking into the deep dive in terms of the film of 2021 yet. I've been just starting that process right now in anticipation of the roster reviews next season. But Jamal Davis obviously did enough to attract NFL teams. And a lot of people have compared him to Willie Jefferson a little bit. He's very pretty lanky and kind of that athletic body type. So, I mean, the NFL, a lot of the time, they like to target the younger guys in the CFL that really exceeded early on in their CFL careers, just so the guys that still could reach their potential and still grow when they get signed in the National Football League. They're not really going to target the best players in the CFL usually because these guys tend to be a little bit older and, again, have reached that athletic potential. So Jamal Davis, I think he really fits the mold of a potential guy that does sign in the NFL this offseason. We'll see if he signs with the Arizona Cardinals is the team that he's been linked to with a workout. So we'll see what happens with him. And then moving on to another Montreal Alouette, Maurice Hunter, defensive back. And he had a really fantastic season this year. I thought he had, a little bit inconsistent 2019, but this year he really was the Alouettes' arguably best defensive back this year and was really a big part of the very improving Alouettes defense this season. And he's being worked out as well by the Arizona Cardinals. We'll see if he gets a shot. I think he's a bit older than a guy like Jamal Davis, so I'm not too sure if he gets signed down there, but we'll see what happens with him. Another obvious guy that's gotten a workout this offseason and multiple workouts is kick returner / punt returner Devontae Dedmon of the Ottawa Redblacks. Had a fantastic season this year, capturing the most outstanding special teams player in the league. Also had a fantastic 2019 season that was cut short due to injuries. I mean, I think this guy is obviously going to sign in the NFL this season just because we've seen a lot of these punt return, kick return types go back and forth between leagues. Think about guys like Stephon Logan, those kind of guys that, can succeed in the NFL as well as the CFL pretty interchangeably. So I think Dedmon will get a look down south with all these teams that are working him out. I mean, teams that have been linked to him so far, Jacksonville, Green Bay, and Chicago. So we'll see if one of those teams picks him up. And if NFL teams get creative, maybe they can use him a little bit in the jet sweep action. So, I mean, I think Dedmon has a load of potential, and I'd be very happy for him if he lands in the NFL. And then another guy here, offensive lineman Drew Delorier of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He is being linked to up to 10 teams. Only the New England Patriots have really been named so far as really come out as a team that's directly linked to him, but he's drawing a lot of interest down south. And again, he, like Jamal Davis, he fits that prototype of guys the NFL would be interested in. He's only played 2 seasons in the CFL coming out of Windsor, which is proudly my alma mater. He's the lone Windsor Lancer in the entire CFL. So really happy to see him getting interest from the NFL. And, I think he's just an absolute stud. I think he's a guy that, honestly, it's very likely that he'll get a training camp shot at least in the NFL next year after being named an All-Star in just his second CFL season here. So really interested to see how he does in 2022, whether that be in the CFL or NFL. In the CFL, I think if he comes back to the CFL, I think he's going to be one of the highest paid offensive linemen in the league when he hits free agency here. And then another guy is punter Cody Grace of the Calgary Stampeders, who was a first-round pick in last year's global draft. He was really a true rookie here in the CFL, and he had an excellent season. I mean, there's not much else to say. He's a punter, but he had an outstanding season at what he does, and he's being worked out by the New York Giants. We'll see if he signs a contract there. Wide receiver Braden Lenius of the Saskatchewan Roughriders has been linked to the Atlanta Falcons and the Chicago Bears. I think the Chicago Bears have really dove into that CFL player market and have worked out multiple guys so far. So we'll see if Lenius signs a contract. Big, lanky guy, lost a ton of weight before the 2021 season, and then really excelled down the stretch this year. So I'm really happy for Lenius to actually get a chance here in the NFL. Once again, guys, as I said in the last video, that is the sound of my email, so I apologize for that going off in the middle of videos. But yeah, Lenius, I think, has a lot of potential. He can really grow in the CFL game, but I wouldn't be completely shocked if he got an opportunity in the NFL, but I really don't think he has the explosiveness to be in the NFL long term. I could be wrong, but I honestly think he is going to be a career CFL guy, but it's good to see that just so young in his career, he's getting an opportunity with the NFL. And then another guy that doesn't have a whole lot of CFL experience, and that's defensive back Jamal Peters of the Toronto Argonauts. Came here as a rookie in 2021, one of a lot of American rookie free agent signings by the Argos that were a big part of their success this season, playing a big role at that corner and halfback spot. So really interested to see if he gets an opportunity with the Arizona Cardinals. That's the team that he's been linked to here. And then we'll finish off the video with two defensive backs from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers that were both rookies in the league this season. One guy a little bit older and then one guy a little bit younger. And those are Dietrich Nichols, who is the older of the two players. I think he's 27. And then DeAndre Alford, who's 24, who is apparently the most sought after player on this entire list this offseason in the NFL. So we'll start with Dietrich Nichols. And Nichols really had an outstanding season this year. Both of these guys were actually named an all-star this season. I thought Nichols was the better of the two, but again, Nichols a little bit older, 3 or 4 years older. And I think Nichols, because of that, is less likely to stay in the NFL if he gets signed there. I think being 27, I think, there's still a lot of time for him to develop, but I think that the NFL, like I said, is looking for younger players to, that have more of a ceiling to grow into. But Alford, I absolutely do think, is going to sign an NFL contract this offseason. He's been linked to the Chicago Bears. Plus, there are a lot of other teams that have not been named yet that are expected to draw interest in him. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see both of these guys. Do they get signed? Does Winnipeg have to replace both of these guys? They lost a whole bunch of defensive backs in 2019 after their Grey Cup victory. And will they have to do it again? If they lose both of these guys, we'll see. But those are just some players that are drawing a lot of interest in the NFL this offseason. And we'll see how many of these guys sign contracts, how many of these guys ultimately stick down south. But it's always exciting to see these guys get the opportunity, because as much as we love the CFL, and I love the CFL, I prefer the CFL to the NFL, I just am happy for those guys to see them get an opportunity to make a lot more money than they do in the CFL. I just wish the CFL players made more money, so it would be more of an opportunity to stay up here and have longer careers. But for all these guys, really wishing them luck to make it in the NFL. And with that said, let me know in the comment section if I missed anybody. I'm sure I have. If there's probably a lot of guys that have gotten workouts that I haven't mentioned in this video, but be sure to let me know in the comment section about that. And with that said, that is going to be the end of today's video, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Once again, my name is Jason. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do it is by hitting the like button and subscribing to Offseason for more CFL content just like this. I greatly appreciate it, guys. And with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.